But this is something that you got to listen to, because this is like a life-saving thing. I have one of the most, I guess, most world-renowned, if not the most recognized pioneer in water filtration and clean drinking water on my line. It's a sincere pleasure to have him. He's a great man. Just quick, I could go on a half hour with this, but I'll do the quick version. He privately founded 4 companies that were acquired by Fortune 500 companies, including Coca-Cola Bottling. Say that a few times fast. But he travels the world evaluating, documenting, the country's water conditions, because this is a worldwide problem. And a couple quotes really stuck out from Mr. Carl Palmer, who's going to be my guest. A child dies of a water-related disease every 8 seconds. I mean, that's shocking. And then Carl ends with this quote on his biography: "I will not conclude my efforts until the world's crisis as it's related to drinking water, is over and our children are protected. That's my promise." A sincere pleasure to welcome the President, CEO, Chief Bottle Washer. I guess you do everything, Carl, from Seychelles Environmental Technologies, Mr. Carl Palmer. Carl, welcome to the podcast. How was that?
Thank you.
All right.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. We met a couple years ago. Actually, there was a big article about the Erin Brockovich chemical in like 200 million Americans drinking water, which got my attention. I've been drinking this filtrations, the family pitcher and the water bottles for about 2.5 years now. I never felt better. Carl, I'd like to lead right in with this Newark situation. It's 20 miles from my backyard. It's getting now it's getting national news. It was getting local news, but I mean, a bad problem. I think you tried to attack it last year, and this year is a different situation, because people are drinking lead. There's all types of stuff in this water. It takes 8 years to fix the pipes. All types of things. They're giving them bottled water that's expired. I mean, it's every day now. It's a barrage. I'm happy to say, though, that due to the help of Jim Dowd, we are meeting with them on a conference with the policy advisor of the governor in September, coming up soon. So we're kind of excited about this. That looks like it's going to take a good turn. Carl, what's your take on this whole Newark situation? I know you try to get into Flint. Tell us about this bad water drinking problem in the U.S., the clean drinking problem.
Well, as you well know, right, because we've talked about it before, there's not an area probably in the United States that doesn't have a major contamination problem with one of the major contaminants that's now breathing everything that's in our drinking water. In California, we have the problem with arsenic. We've got the problem with trihalomethanes. We've got the problems, and the same thing's true as you travel across the states. You keep finding more and more contaminants. And what we try to do in our activity is that we find a contaminant, or we hear about a contaminant, or we get a phone call, a news station, or whatever it might be. And so what we instantly do is we get as much information as we can, and we try to instantly find out the direct effect on our health. That's the very first thing we do, because we know what the seriousness of it, and how can we do something about it. So the primary one, as we're dealing with now, is lead, of course, and the one that's called PFOA that nobody's even ever heard of. So, and with lead, you've seen numerous concepts of what the major drinking water problems are. Of course, in Newark, and they're no different than Flint, but that same problem is everywhere. It's just some people just haven't tested for it yet. We have, and crazy thing about that. Let me comment about something. People say, "Oh, well, there's a problem with getting the lead out of the water." Has anybody ever asked anybody why?
Well, is the lead part of the pipes or something, or like what's the real deal with that? How come there's
Sure. It's because it's the infrastructure. It's been there for many years, and it starts to corrode. And depending upon what kind of materials they were made out of, but that starts happening. Point of use, in my opinion, I think the municipals do all they possibly can to solve the problem. I really do. They're doing everything they can. But the minute they disperse the water into the infrastructure that's going to go to all of our homes and businesses and schools and things like that, then all of a sudden it starts absorbing the contaminants that are in those materials, whether it's lead piping or it's cadmium piping or it's copper piping or whatever it may be. Those contaminants have a direct effect on our health. So, and then the only way to do it, eventually it's going to get to your faucet and you're going to drink that water. and you're going to accumulate that contaminant. Okay?
So inevitably, it seems like it's just eventually a losing situation. Okay, you replace the pipes, unless I guess, can you replace them with non-lead pipes or?
Well, that could be stainless steel. Can you imagine that? That would cost more millions than they're talking about. But this is going to happen over and over again for the rest of our lives. There's no question about it. So the only thing I believe strongly is the word point of use is necessary for people to understand. The only thing they can do is protect their own drinking water as it comes out of that faucet, for themselves or their children. Now, as I've told you before, about 75% of the water we drink in our lifetime, we drink away from home. So I don't care what kind of point of use product you have in the home. It can only benefit you while you're there. The problem, the minute you walk out the door, whether you're going to work or school or going down to the play yard or going to the gym or wherever you might be going, you're going to have to find another source that's probably not protected from these particular these specific kind of contaminants. And I'm going to read a minute to you, but I commented about lead. I researched, I'm looking here, I'm going to say 60 different articles, magazines, pamphlets, different governmental documents, environmental working groups, and what they do is they tell you what the problem is and that it's lead. Then they kind of infer how the lead is happening and why it's important for us to think about it and why it's important for the cities and the states to do something about it. Then after they figure that out, then the first thing, and for some reason, I've read 3 or 4 this morning, they don't even tell you why. Well, I mean, this might be beneficial to your health, but that's a joke, but certainly not.
Now, the lead itself, like how bad is the lead? Like how bad is this? I know for kids, you see flint. I know there's brain damage. Is it? Or I mean, it's devastating, right, to your system if you have excess of lead. Like
you know what? When I knew we were going to talk about lead, I have 26 articles here in front of me. I'm not going to read all 26, but I'm going to outline just one thing.
Okay.
What we do is we find the document, and then we find the direct effect from it, where it comes from, and then we find out what they say about it. Then we find the need. Meaning the need is really what happens if you drink water that has this high volume of lead, right? Just quick things. So I'm going to grab just 3 or 4 of them and just kind of hit it. I'm just going to put your point. Young children, infants, and fetus are particularly vulnerable to lead because the physical and behavioral effects of lead occur at lower exposures and lead levels than adults. It's over 85% of the lead found in the blood of infants may derive from baby formula made from contaminated water. Children are exposed to lead, dust, soil, drinking water. And it's the other major thing about it. It affects children. Children are at the greatest risk in lead poisoning because they're exposed to lead for a short period of time. Infants who consume food or water, or any liquid for that matter, can receive large doses of lead just from simple drinking water. So it's a big deal. The idea, I went through all these documents, and I just pulled down, I said, exposure to lead, link to. And here's what I pulled from these articles. Brain damage, kidney failure, central nervous system, learning disability, impaired hearing, low IQ, cardiovascular problems, sleep disturbances, memory problems, lower sperm counts, rare cases of diseases, nervous system. I'm going to read just a few. Red blood cell problems, impaired formation and function of the blood cell, slow growth, anemia, increased with blood pressure, decrease with bone marrow, mood changes, headaches, miscarriages, and possible cancer. So that's enough things that can concern me.
So it's like a book of everything possibly negative comes out of it.
Yeah. No question. There's no question about it. And in this booklet, we keep a storage of all the magazines, newspapers, and things like that are going on in the country. And here's the headline: Newark hands bottled water out to its filter program and also the filter. They found out that I think it was something like 70% of the filters they handed out didn't work. So that's not going to do them any good. So the problem is what we try to do after we know the problem and the need, then we develop a solution. Now, remember, as you said, I've been in the water business for 50 years. I was the original inventor of home reverse osmosis system.
Now, you invented the home. Did you invent, Carl, the home reverse osmosis system? Or were you one of the pioneers in that? Okay.
No, I was the pioneer.
You were the guy that invented the reverse osmosis. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't invent the process. I invented the product. that relates to reverse osmosis.
Okay.
That had never been, no one had ever taken the process at that time to, let's say, a portable filtration concept, either a countertop or under the counter, or you see the office models you see now that are using reverse osmosis, and that was very well. Okay. After that company was in business for 3 years, Coca-Cola acquired it, and they merged it into their Arrowhead bottled water division. Okay. So after that was over, I expected to see the product around the world. Now it happens to be around the world, but then it wasn't. They didn't do anything at all for 3 years. And so as a result of that, after 5 years, my non-compete was up. I went back in the business again and developed another line of product using the process of reverse osmosis, using a different membrane. So after that was over, I started that business. That built up for about 3 or 4 years. And AMF Corporation, you're familiar with them. They own, Harley Davidson in Brunswick and headquarters. They're multi-billion-dollar corporation. They wanted to get in the water business, so they came out and they liked what we were doing, so they acquired that company. Along the way, we had distribution, of course, and we were selling to a multi-level company named Shackley. Mm-hmm. And Shackley's, old time multi-level company, one of the largest in the world. And so after a period of time with that, we worked with them and helped them market. We sold $53 million worth of it the first year, just to people that are concerned about the quality of their drinking water. That's all it was. Now, in addition to that, we developed a spot-free car wash. So if you want to keep your car clean and spots off your windshield and things like that, use that process. So that went along for quite a while. Additionally to that, now this company that we started now, we've been very good, right? And I've told you stories, you've seen maybe articles, like you've seen, Erlen Brockovich, you mentioned that. Mm-hmm. Well, I know her relatively well, and I know the problem because we're not very far from that. We're like, you're 20 miles from the problem. We're only 50 miles, from the problem with Erlen Brockovich attacked that area.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, that's very close. And of course, there's certainly a lot of illness, a lot of death, a lot of problems, right? And they solved it. But guess what? They still have the problem. They still really haven't done anything totally about it. And that's why it's very difficult.
That's scary. That's scary.
I told you about a simple one. A woman called me from Vegas, a lady that was working in some little motel cleaning rooms, and she called me and she said she had a son that only had 90 days to live. I said, my God, I wonder why she's calling me. But she said, I was told that you have some magic cure, or you can do something, you might be helping. So this young man had never had a shower or a bath. He wasn't able to drink tap water. He wasn't able to eat most foods. He wasn't even able to wear most clothing, and he had never had a shower. Can you imagine that?
Whoa. Now, no, I can't imagine it.
I neither can I, but it's true. She said he's got 90 days to live. And so as a result of that, she told me what the disease was. The disease is called, I'm going to have to spell it for you. It's called systematic mastocytosis, mastocytosis. It's a disease in which most cells or cells involved cause allergic reactions. It causes him, she wrote me this, it causes him to be allergic to the sun, the full moon, tap water, certain clothing, and most foods. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So we tried a program. I put a system in that I've been developing, and as a result of that, here's a letter I got from him about 6 months later. I tried to stay in touch with him as often as I could. It just said, thank you very, very much, Mr. Palmer, for giving me a better way of living. The water and the water tanks you've given me have made sure I have a semi-normal life. Well, that's better than a payday for me. The water business has been pretty good to me, and so financially, sold to 4 companies, and it's been good. But this is the kind of thing that makes me want to be in the business.
Was that the bubble boy? Was that what that was? Okay, that was the movie thing, right? Okay,
yeah, okay. The boy in the bubble. That's right.
Right.
And so there's been 2 movies out now about his life. So anyway, I lost track of him for 8 years. I could not find him. So I was kind of concerned, and my fear was maybe something had happened to them. So on the December the 8th of this past year, I get an email, and it says, the headline said to me, December 8th, to Carl Palmer, and it's subject, I'm still alive.
It's a good way to start the letter. Yeah.
He said he just wanted to thank me for my patience with him, for the willingness to help support my only way of life with your incredible products. So that was a great thing, and of course we've done this same similar concepts with people all over the world. I've been a lot in Asia and a lot in China, and lots of problems, as you I'm sure have heard, that we're having problems with. But the problem always is, usually there's one element of contamination, and that can be a major problem, right? What's affecting us? So over this past 6 months, we've been in-depthly working on trying to pick up all the major contaminants here in the United States, not just lead. But you're not just having a problem with lead.
There's a lot more than lead. You always hear of lead, but
yeah.
there's a whole bunch of stuff. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, you've got another one that's well advertised already and exposed is PFOAs, and PFOAs are abundant in Newark already.
That's nasty, right? That stuff, EFOA. That's nasty stuff. Yeah.
No, they're hydrocarbons, and they cause cancer. Damn right they do. They cause serious cancer. They cause more than just cancer. I've got every time we do a document, we do a research booklet on it, and sometimes these books are 2 or 3 inches thick. I just grabbed this one. I just picked it up, and the headline on top. It said, "Blood studies show the presence of PFOAs chemicals in blood of 96% of the people in the United States."
Oh,
that's
96.
96. Can you imagine? Can you dream of that? That's an unbelievable thing. There's also evidence of PFOAs in connection with high cholesterol, depressed responses to vaccine, decreased fertility in women, and most recently, I better not read that one. I'm not even over the phone.
Well, this stuff is so. The kids are, for me, the most important to protect them. But the filters we have, because I saw a thing on Newark, Carl, that says they're now testing 39 filters. They don't even think's working there. Tell us about our filter. I'll say it's ours. I own it. The Seychelles filters,
Sure.
like how they take all this out, all the testing we've done. Even compare it to Brita. Say you always hear, "Oh yeah, I got Brita," but compare them and what we do.
No problem. Just before I say that, I want to finish my remark on PFOA.
Oh, yes, go right ahead. Yep.
Okay. My remark was, drinking water in more than 110 million people in America are contaminated with PFOAs. It's the world's most dangerous chemical, and poisons without passports. Now, this is your local water, my friend. And it says the chemical is linked to cancer, harm to children's immune system, and other serious problems. And over 100 and PFOA is over 110 million people are exposed right now.
110 million. Oh, not 10 million. 110 million.
Yeah, right. 110 million. Whoa. And the exposure is linked to these following diseases: kidney cancer, development issues, weakened immune system, hormone disruption, testicle cancer, liver cancer, prostate cancer, high cholesterol, obesity, thyroid disease, low infant birth, pancreatic cancer. Now, those are all things that are frightening to me, and we wonder what's going on in this world, because there's a lot of problems, folks, and there's tons and tons of stuff to read and to research on this. Pull it up on your website, and you'll see PFOA and find out, because the reason is there's 15 different kinds. There's 15 different kinds now, and we have just received tests just within the last week. We've been working on this test for 9 months. We tested one, I think 2 years ago, and when I first figured out what it was, and then we did results, and we received what they call a non-detectable result, meaning when they put that contaminant through our product, the results come out, and there's no detectable limit of PFOAs in it. Now, the same thing's true with lead. So now that you know the contaminant causes these specific diseases, so what we do is now we develop the filter system that is, we do a couple of things. We try to develop a system that's economically available and that people can afford, and that will do the job. So my first thing is to try to develop a system that, because 75% of the water we drink in our life, we drink away from home. So I needed a portable unit of some nature, and I needed something that had pressure. So we came up with just a little sports bottle, and it has a 28-ounce sports bottle, and it has our filter in it. And the filter is a primary basis of coconut. But there's a lot more in coconut. There's 4 items in it. And it has the ability to absorb and adsorb, okay? And it has the ability to chemically bond these contaminants as they travel through our filter. The filters are not big. These are small filters. They're only good for 150 gallons. And so, but it does remove these contaminants, and they remove totally non-detectable. The tests we got back from the EPA, from the PPA lab just on Wednesday of last week. They did took 9 months to finish the test on this one, and we removed in parts per trillion, if you can imagine that, totally non-detectable. In other words, we removed all of it. So that simple little bottle can do that. Now, in addition to that, we also make a pitcher. Now, we know that Breda and lots of people are out there running around with pitchers, and Breda, I think, makes a claim of I think they say they do 40 gallons, and they also say they remove some lead and they remove some chlorine, but it's not all. A few years back now, they had this same lead problem in Flint, Michigan. I have the test here in front of me that the Flint, Michigan Metropolitan Drinking Water Organization did tests on our product, and they were able, by both using lead and copper, and it showed totally non-detectable. In other words, when they put the lead and the copper through the filter, nothing comes out.
Nothing. Nothing comes out. So, okay.
No, it comes out, tastes better because it removes all. Because as it's doing that, it's removing chlorine, it's removing PFOAs, it's removing.
Right. And that's all chlorine. That's all bad. Right.
Oh,
right.
Well, of course. Removing chromium, it even removes radiation. So, which is important out here in California. This will blow your mind. We talk about children because of the radiation content is so high. In the United States, there's over, let's say the number, 140 million people right now in the United States exposed to radiation. Now, I can't tell you the levels, I can't tell you where it is or what it is, but we've got documents on all of it. But here's what it does. On the West Coast here, we have the hyperthyroidism and thyroid cancer is up 28% in children. Can you dream of that? That's almost 30% of the kids. That just blows my mind. In our filter, all you do is put water in this bottle and squeeze it and drink it.
And that's it.
That's it. There's nothing more to it. You don't add anything to it or anything like that. And our pitcher works exactly the same way. It's convenient, it's easy, makes the water taste fantastic because it removes all the contamination, is what we're trying to do. I shouldn't say all, but up to levels of 99.9 and up to the levels of non-detectable. And that's what we shoot for. So we go back and try to attack all these different many areas of, there's a great one. Chilling data shows Americans drink 209 million glasses of unsafe water a day. Can you imagine that? And PFOA, they call PFOA the biggest concern of all of them. It's everywhere. They're finding it everywhere now. So my guess is that will happen this year, and they're just now starting to find out how it can be tested by other products. Another product is, of course, the one that I know a great deal about is the reverse osmosis product, and it can remove it. At least that's what I've told. I've not said the test. I've not seen the test. I'd like to see the test, but RO reverse osmosis will remove these contaminants. I've been told. Now the kicker on it is that when we use reverse osmosis, it does those wonderful things. There's a couple of things I don't like about reverse osmosis. One, it removes trace minerals. We want the heavy metals out of water and most of what they call total dissolved solids. We want those out of the water if we can. So the kicker of that is to get that. Now, trace minerals is something that we don't necessarily want out of water. Those are the beneficial minerals that we get through water, right? So that's important. The other problem with pH with reverse osmosis is it significantly lowers the pH of the water. And that's something that there's a rage, of course, going on about pH water going on in the United States right now. And the basis of that means you'd like to keep it at least neutral. Now, there's a lot of pH bottles and water you can buy now that's upwards of up to 8.5 to 9.5%, and that's or 9.5% pH, which is good. So our filter, does it remove pH? Does it increase pH? Of course it does. It runs it up in between 8.5 and 9.5%. So, and the horrible part about the pH factors is a lot of people don't realize the pH is 0 to 14. 0 is acidic, like a soft drink that they allow children to have. I only have to name the soft drinks. You know them all. Are 2.5 pH. 2.5 pH are 4,000 times more acidic than neutral. Coffee is a 4. So every time you go from 7 to a 6, you go up 10 times. If you go from a 6 to a 5, it's 100 times. From a 5 to a 4, it's 1,000 times more acidic.
Wow.
So it's very serious. And so people just You know what? I don't like popcorn's for.
I don't
but
like that
but
either because I have it every night. But
yeah.
the
So the other,
that acid is no good for you, right? That high
no,
acid. Okay.
of course not. Of
Right.
course not.
Right.
So the other element, if it goes up from a 7 to a 8, it goes up by 1 point. So you go up by 10 times. If you go from 7 to a 9, it goes up 100 times.
Mm.
So you're in good shape with that. So, and everybody, I guess, I think the medical world now is getting more and more acquainted with what's going on in that nutritional world. That a pH is having a major effect on people's health. We've heard a lot of the relationships of we have tons and tons of endorsements of people that have used our product and the benefits of it. And so, and we relate it because I can't say we cure cancer or anything like that. I know we help a lot of people's health. We get an awful lot of endorsement that starting using our product, and they drink a lot of water, and it really does help benefit their current health condition.
Well, it's Carl. I've seen pictures of you, and if you could state your age, and then I'm going to tell I'll tell my viewers now. You look to be about 56, 58 years old. I know you've been drinking this stuff for 50 years. How old are you, if you could tell our viewers? Because this is just almost like a testament on everything.
Does that really look like I'm that old?
52. I'll go down a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most people guess me around 50. That's right. So, but I'm 85.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, 85 now. Okay.
Yeah, and most people won't even dream I'm at that age. But I know that's a fact because of my family. My wife is almost 70, and most people guess her at 45. My daughter is going on 60, and most people guess her as I won't say a teenager, but she looks darn young, real young. So those are great benefits of longevity and health, right?
Well, I've been drinking this for 3 years, and I had someone. I'm actually in my 50s, and someone thought I was 32 last week. They thought I was 32. Yeah.
No, I've got one major customer that I work with. I have been working for 15 years, and they and the daughter of this particular marketing company started using pure water for a dietary program. She drinks about a pitcher a day, one full pitcher a day. She started 4 months ago. And when I go back and I do sales presentations with them once in a while. And when that happened, that particular time, she'd been on it for only a month, and she'd already lost 26 pounds. But what blows my mind, the second time I've been back there again, which was almost 4 months later, she's lost, as of yesterday, 68 pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know, and she's healthy as can be, and she's vibrant. Increases your obviously your energy levels. There's a lot of good things about water if it's a good water.
Right.
So you can't go around. I don't knock any other products, not at all. Everybody's trying to do what they're trying to do best. The thing I don't like, I think if you buy a product on the market, make sure it has proper testing results in laboratory. Proper laboratory. We use EPA. We use the EPA laboratory certified, and so we test all those contaminants, all heavy metals. That's lead and cadmium and copper and mercury and selenium and zinc and arsenic and nitrates and plaques. Every single one of those problems have a direct health effect. And then, in addition to that, we test all the organics. And all the organics are 285 that the EPA requires. And out of those, you have benzene, DDT, trihalomethanes, the contaminants that has affected chlorine when they're mixed together. It causes, and it says this, because I don't say anything I don't have documented, but we have all the documentation that say if women, their first pregnancy, and the first trimester of the pregnancy, run a 19% possibility of spontaneous abortion if they drink water that has high trihalomethanes and chlorine in them. Now, that's not my write-up, but I've got a whole library on that. So,
well, the bottom line is we're made of water, right? I mean, you hear that. I don't know what the number is. Like it's 80%. Is it really 80 or is it 70 or so? There's some big number that we're made of water. So it just makes sense that you got to drink good water because that's what you are.
Oh, there's no question, But, importantly, the key here, we see the demand and also the opportunity to have have people exposed, something can simply
That's
change
my
their life.
simple answer, Carl. You give us the science. I'll give it the normal guy thing. I don't mean to be too non-scientific with that analysis, but go ahead. Sorry.
Well, yeah, well, the good part is you can change the quality of life by simply changing the quality of water. That's all. And it's not anything more than that. Just changing the quality of water. You want to get rid of the contaminants in water, and you want to drink good water, and you don't want to drink anything acidic. And that's soft drinks of any sort. I don't care what they are. They're going to be acidic. Tea is an acidic of 5. Coffee is about a 5. So, I try not to allow myself to drink any of that kind of stuff. But I know soft drinks, I get beside myself when I see ads for children to drink the different soft drinks that are on the market. My God, they're terrible for kids. So, and because not only that, they're full of sugar besides being being very, very acidic. And they're all chemicals, all of them.
Well, that's big money trying to get your money, and getting these kids hooked on that stuff. I guess that's a whole nother story. All that,
Of course.
But I feel very powerful because I feel at my fingertips. I'm so happy you came on because I know you're busy. I've been trying to get you on, and the timing is like perfect now since we have that meeting set up in September for you with the policy advisors for the governor in New Jersey. Is that the solution is simple. Just drink this family pitcher. I mean, it's like $39 for a whole year of water on my portable pitcher. I mean, I know it's normally about $300 if I keep drinking bottled water, which is whole nother issues. Is another issue. So it's that simple. Just use the product, and I could have Newark solved tomorrow. Correct, Carl? If I just had this product that takes all this stuff out, is it that simple, or am I missing something?
Well, that's correct. No, that's what it all does. And I want to comment. Your governor was kind enough to write me a nice letter, thank me for the unit that we sent back to him. And
the governor sent you a letter, correct? Governor Murphy?
Yes.
Okay.
I imagine he's a hard guy to get to directly, but I said, the simple thing to this whole thing to me, the pitchers are sell for around $50, $60. They give you 150 gallons of water. Now, I don't know what bottled water costs, but let's say it's just $1. Each one of these filters are equal to 760 bottles of water. So it saves you about $2,000 a year just in cost of bottled water. But the key is, as an example, last month, Walmart, Costco, Target, and about 10 other mass merchandisers took bottled water off the stands out here because they found a high degree of arsenic in the water.
Oh, in the bottled water?
Yeah, in the bottled water, exactly.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's the thing. You don't even know what they're really filling that stuff up with. Is that right? I mean, it's kind of an elementary point of view, but is that really what they say it is in the water? I figured there might be some guy with like a faucet, like just putting water in there.
Well, I tell you, there's another reason. It wasn't a few years back when everybody said go green. And we greatly believe in that because that's one of the reasons our product works so well. To the benefit it is that we don't discard any plastics back on our good earth.
Right.
You know what? I have a booklet right up here, right in front of me. I can run and grab it. But it says National Geographic. It quotes that over 60 million empty bottles a day are dumped back into our landfills. 60 million? I bet it's more than that.
Well, I see pictures of the ocean too, where I guess there's a whole bunch of plastic in the ocean. And you see all the seagulls with plastic in them. I know there's the fish are eating the stuff. I mean, it's just a terrible thing. So this even helps that part of it, that it could do away with the plastic bottles, which is yeah.
Our bottles are lifetime guaranteed. There's nothing going to go wrong with them, and all they do is replace the filter, every 4, 5, 6 months, or how much water they drink. And it's easy to do. If you can wind a watch, you can put this thing on. It's real simple, and it's something that you can carry with you easily. But we've shipped 7 million of these things, Jay, around the world. 7 million. We've been from Sri Lanka all the way down to Australia and almost all the major Asian countries. We've shipped all over South America and certainly in Africa. I can read you an article. The headline of the article simply says it's African. It's the African press out here. It's a magazine or a newspaper that they sell. And I want to thank you. Dear Carl, I want to thank you so very, very much for the efforts that you've made in trying to help all 600 million people of Africa with their drinking water and the direct effect on their health. So, because we ship product into Africa, sometimes we can afford to give it, sometimes we can't. So that it's everywhere. So with 700 million out there, that's quite a few.
That's quite a few, and it's a world problem. You always hear, you'll go to Mexico, don't drink the water, and then I know Puerto Rico might be having another hurricane coming up soon. Then I know there's the island water situation where they don't have water. It's worldwide, big time, right? I mean, it's just wherever you look at it, the more you hear about it. Every time I talk to you, I tell my wife I'm afraid to drink any other water than the filtered water because it's so scary.
Well, you know what? Yeah. It's not a matter of afraid to, Jay. You just don't drink it. That's all. You just carry one of these units around with you.
That's it.
Right? That's all. It's so simple. It's so simple. You got to be real brain dead not to understand that one. It's real simple. Well, and what's great, it helps kids. I've got a bunch of great grandkids, right? They all drink out of that bottle. You can't get them to drink tap water. In fact, I can't even get my dogs to drink tap water.
Well, it's funny. I put the family pitcher water in my dog's bowl. I feel guilty if I have to rush quick, and my wife puts the other water in. I'm like, no, I have to dump it and put the filtered water in. For the dog.
Well, they pick up the chlorine smell.
Ah, okay. They like that. Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing that but this month I've been in the drinking water business now 50 years, and I don't regret anything I've done in the business as to a scare tactic. I don't call it a scare tactic. I don't think it's a scare tactic to people. As an example, on these, look, let me read you something. I don't know how much time we have, but this will only take me less 2 minutes, okay?
Okay. And then we'll do our hit and miss word association, then we'll wrap it up. Go ahead.
Okay, sure. The following contaminants are exposed in our drinking water in the people of our country. It tells you the contaminant, the amount of people exposed, our reduction ratio on our testing, and a major health concern. I only have 8 of them. Lead is the first one. 100 million people are exposed to lead. Our reduction capability is 98.8%. The health concern is brain and organic damages. Arsenic, 140 million people. Our reduction ratio is 92.4%. The possible health concern, cancer and death. PFOAs, 110 million. Our reduction ratio is 100%. Cancer and reproductive damage. Our chromium-6, 200 million people. 95.57% reduction. Kidney damage and liver cancer. Radiation, 170 million people. Our reduction ratio is 100%. The possible is cancer in various organs. Fluoride, a high percentage, around 40 million. A problem with fluoridation is birth defects and cancer. Chlorine, in almost all the water in the United States. Possible stroke, cancer. And if you drink water over a lifetime, you run a 44% greater risk of dying of cancer if you don't drink chlorinated water. And then the last one is benzene, 50 million, 99% possible cancer. That's just a few of them.
That's invaluable info. I mean, that is, that's what this whole thing is. It's saving lives, making people healthier, living a better life. I mean, the whole thing. It's just a perfect scene, and I want as many people to know about this as possible. So that's why I urge everyone to just keep sharing this. We got the right guy behind us here with Carl Palmer, who has our backs and is getting this thing out. So I think there's a lot of good news ahead with this as the word spreads out here. Carl, I want to get my hit and miss, then we'll wrap it up, which is our word association. Little fun. We need a little fun after all that, even though it's good news because we're going to be helping a lot of people. But word association, ready? Here we go. Favorite color. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay. If you were in a foxhole, other than any family members, who would be in the foxhole with you?
Well, both my dogs.
Ah, okay. I haven't had anyone say to dogs yet. I like that one. I like that. They don't yell back. Or what do they say about dogs? They don't talk back or whatever? Yeah.
That's right. When they go everywhere, I go.
All right. If you were on a deserted island and you had to bring 2 music records or 2 musical CDs, whatever you call them, with you, you're on this island for 5 years, beautiful weather, 2 music records, what would you bring?
I think I'd bring Joe Bonamassa.
Mm-hmm.
And I would bring, probably Willie Nelson or Earl Haggard or something like that, some down-home kind of music.
Okay, I like that. What is your favorite movie?
Being There.
Okay. Favorite actor or actress?
Do you remember Peter Sellers was?
Okay, okay. Ocean. What do you think when you hear the word ocean?
I think of the Pacific Ocean, and I think of fishing. I like the fish.
Okay, okay. All right, this. I'm going to hit you hard with this one because this is going to be an interesting. I'd love to hear what you're going to say with this on a word association. Brita.
Well, Britta.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get any trouble
Hey, that's the first thing that came to your mind.
because Clorox owns them and they got a lot of money. And I don't that kind of lot of things.
That's good.
I want to say something. Let me tell you what I really believe. And I know they have $20 million a year to advertise, and I don't. But,
Okay.
and because we don't even advertise. We spent $1,500 in the last 7 years in advertising. Our product is simply reference products. I think it's a shame that with all of the money that they have behind them, that they don't really research as we have done and find out what the contaminants in drinking water really are, do the proper testing, get the proper technology, and offer a product to people that really benefits them. Not just a product that removes some lead and some chlorine per 20 to 40 gallons. I don't think that's good. So I know that's their business. I can't change it, but I'm sorry to see that they have that they could make a greater, let's say they can make a greater contribution to the population and the health of our country.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. All right. Who was the most famous person you ever met?
I guess Dick Nixon sponsored me to college. I guess he was pretty famous.
Richard Nixon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How was he when you met him?
How long ago? Really long ago?
Are you talking like 1959 or something then, right?
I'm talking about, I think, 1952.
Oh, when he was a senator. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right.
Well, you know what? He
Yeah.
went to Whittier College, and that's where I ended up going.
Oh, you went to the same college?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Well, he referenced me into the college, and then helped
That's
me
cool.
getting a commission in the Navy. That's what I did.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. And last one, Carl, on the word association. If you had one wish in the world, I'm a genie. I'm going to grant you one wish in the world that's going to happen tomorrow. What would your wish be? How about that one?
Change the quality. Sure, it's an easy one. Change the quality of the quality of drinking water, and eliminate the contamination that we have going on throughout the world. That would be my
clean
wish.
water throughout the world.
Well, pure, clean, safe drinking water is what would be my wish. Remember, I've traveled all over the world, and I've been in more water supplies you'd ever dream. And there, you can't find good water. That's all there is to it. There's nothing out there that doesn't have at least chlorine. And I don't drink chlorinated water. So I would say that would be my greatest wish if that could ever happen. But I met billionaires. I met people that could help a lot. And a lot of big companies that could help a lot. But I don't see it happen. You know, all these multi-billionaires and stuff that run. What in the world do they do for mankind? Or humankind, excuse me. Right?
You just change the world. I mean, just with this, basically just with this product. I mean, you have clean drinking water throughout the world.
So simple.
Yeah.
Simple. That simple little product of ours, it just simply does it. That's all. You put water in it's like a pitcher. You put water in the reservoir, just let it go through, and you drink it. That's all. That's all there is to it. You don't have to add anything to it. You don't have to. There's nothing. It just works. That's all. The filter is gravity feed, and the one that's a bottle that you can take with you every day of your life, you squeeze it and drink it. It just works super.
Yeah.
It's not even a bad looking bottle.
Yeah. You know what? People laugh at me kind of because I take it with me wherever I go. Literally, I always have it in my hand wherever I go, restaurant, whatever. They let me put I put their water in my filtered water.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't prepare for that.
Or I'll put the bottled water in it too, and I tell you, it tastes much better. I mean, it's not even close. I can't drink the bottle. If I'm stuck in a pinch, it's hard to drink it. After getting used to the filtered water. But
well, Greg, it helps hydrate you. It helps detoxify you. Now, those two things you want, right? That's all. And you're good, and you're putting a safe system to your body, that your body doesn't have to work on trying to get rid of all these contaminants that we're going through, and where some people are absorbing.